we turn, we're being poisoned. It's in our food, our water, our air, and even our healthcare system. And now, AI and Big Pharma are joining forces in ways that could make things even worse. But how deep does this really go? And more importantly, what can we do about it? This is a CGH News Special Edition, where we expose the hidden health crisis that's affecting all of us, whether we realize it or not. Stay with us, because today we're diving into the real dangers behind AI in healthcare, ultra-processed foods, and the corporate control of our health. Let's start with the obvious, our food. In recent years, we've seen an explosion of ultra-processed foods, industrially made, chemically loaded, and stripped of real nutrients. And if you think these foods are just about convenience, think again. Research is proving that they are actively making us sick. Even Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is warning people about the dangers of ultra-processed foods. These so-called foods are packed with synthetic additives, industrial oils, and preservatives, all linked to skyrocketing rates of obesity, diabetes, and even mental health disorders. A recent study published in the journal Obesity, Science, and Practice found that simply cutting out ultra-processed foods can lead to dramatic health improvements, including weight loss, higher energy, and reduced inflammation. So, if we know that this food is toxic, why is it still flooding our grocery stores and being fed to our children? The answer? Corporate profit. The same companies making these foods are also some of the biggest donors to health organizations. Let that sink in. Now, if the toxic food isn't bad enough, let's talk about the next threat, artificial intelligence in healthcare. Because right now, AI isn't just being used to diagnose diseases, it's being used to decide whether you even get treatment. In Connecticut, lawmakers are now pushing to ban health insurance companies from using AI to determine who gets treatment and who doesn't. Why? Because these AI systems are prioritizing profits over human lives, denying claims at alarming rates. And if you think AI is some all-knowing medical genius, think again. A recent study published in Nature's Communications Medicine found that AI systems failed to detect 66% of critical health conditions in hospitalized patients. That means AI is literally making life or death mistakes. So let's be clear. The very technology that's being hyped as the future of medicine is failing at the most basic level. And yet, hospitals and insurance companies are pushing full speed ahead with AI-driven healthcare. Why? Because denying care equals bigger profits.
The 8 News Now investigators reporting on a huge verdict here in Las Vegas.
That verdict, all $228 million of it, going to victims who drank tainted bottled water, which made 100 people sick. Here, one person died after drinking it. 8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne joins us now with more. And Kyle, you spoke with a victim today, correct?
I did, a victim and the attorney who won that huge settlement after a 4-week trial. The jury in Clark County awarding those victims $28 million for the company's wrongdoing, and then another $200 million in punitive damages for putting lethal chemicals in their drinking water.
We was making oatmeal, rice, drinking tea.
Jeremy Bottiz was drinking tea at home, where he had a regular delivery of real water, which he used for everything. As he drank it, he got sick, confused, delirious, nauseous, and had terrible abdominal pain. He was terrified, especially when he went to one hospital after another, and finally was told his liver was failing and there was no cure.
They told me that I was going to die. They told me these are dying numbers, and if you leave, that you could die.
But Bottiz left anyway, going home with a prescription for the steroid prednisone, which he choked down with the same water that made him sick to begin with.
We hope that we sent a message.
Attorney Will Kemp represents all the plaintiffs in multiple lawsuits against Real Water and other defendants. He says Real Water did not test the product thoroughly. And even though people had complained early on about vomiting and a metallic flavor,
Real Water is the world's premier enhanced bottled water.
the company still kept electrifying and chemically altering the water to give it more alkaline, unknowingly making it toxic.
This product had rocket fuel in it. Rocket fuel and bottled water. Think about that for a minute.
That so-called rocket fuel, he says, wreaked havoc on people's livers, scarring them, destroying them, causing acute liver failure. One person died. 2 victims had liver transplants, many others on the transplant waiting list, including 5 babies who drank the water, one becoming the #1 transplant candidate in the entire country.
She got really violently ill.
These parents thought their 5-year-old daughter, Hara, who became incoherent and then deathly ill from drinking Real Water, would need a liver transplant.
You don't know what's going on with your daughter. You're putting her in the back of the car, limp, in the car seat.
Going into shock, thinking that your 5-year-old might need a transplant.
There are so many victims in this case. 57 more plaintiffs from this area expect to go to court against Real Water. The attorneys have 17 more trials in the pipeline and likely an appeal of the huge verdict amount. Real Water is not in business anymore.
And it's not just our food and healthcare system. Our water is under attack too. Toxic chemicals known as forever chemicals are seeping into our drinking water, and corporations are doing everything they can to block new safety regulations. In Long Island, water companies are actually suing the EPA to stop new safety regulations on these deadly chemicals. The very companies that are responsible for providing clean water are fighting to keep toxic substances flowing through our taps. These forever chemicals have been linked to cancer, hormone disruption, and even infertility. Yet, instead of fixing the problems, corporations are doubling down on making sure that they don't have to clean it up. Again, profits over human life. With all of this happening, the big question is, will AI fix these problems or make them worse? Right now, we're at a crossroads. AI has the potential to revolutionize medicine, detect toxins, and warn us about harmful chemicals in our food, air, and water. But in the wrong hands, it could be used to control and manipulate the very foundation of our health. So we have to ask ourselves, who is really in control of AI? And should we trust them with our lives? Now that we've pulled back the curtain on the toxic food system, the AI-driven healthcare, and the corruption behind our water supply, the question is, what are you going to do about it? This is not just another news story. This is your health, your family's future, your survival, and we cannot afford to ignore what's happening anymore. The reality, no corporation is coming to save us. No politician is fighting this battle for us. If we want to protect ourselves, we need to take control of our health now, before it's too late. So what can you do? You can educate yourself, read articles that we covered today, links below in the description, or do your own research and question everything. You can change what you consume, ditch the ultra-processed junk, invest in clean water, and start using real, natural remedies. You can be vigilant about AI in healthcare. Know how it's being used and demand that it works for the people, not for corporate profits. You can also speak out and spread awareness. This is information that they don't want you to know. Share it, talk about it, and expose the truth. And this is just the beginning. In part 2, we're breaking down the biggest detox scams being pushed by the wellness industry and revealing what actually works when it comes to cleansing your body from all these poisons. So if you're ready to take back your health, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You do not want to miss this. Now let's talk. Drop a comment below and let us know what's the most shocking thing you learned today. How do you think that AI, Big Pharma, and the food industry are connected? Let's start the conversation. Meet you in the comments.